Welcome back and happy solstice to everyone. It's December 21st, first day of winter, and it's Lisa Sparkles Does Vlogmas day 21, but it's not really day 21 for me. If you watched yesterday's video, you'll understand why I did not keep up with doing my videos. But today I've decided that I'm going to do what I had planned to do, which was winter cooking. And I'm just going to make a little bit of a kind of a soup that I like to make. It's no recipe really, it's just a few things. It's honestly, do you remember the old TV show? I don't even know if it's still on because I don't watch Food Network much anymore, but I used to watch a lot of Food Network, and I remember there was a show called Semi-Homemade where the woman, she used like pre-packaged things to make food. But so this is sort of a semi-homemade kind of thing. It's not really a homemade soup because I just don't have the time to do that. So it's a beef. I like beef and barley, but I don't have any barley. I'm going to try to get rid of this pasta. There's a lot of it in there, so I'm probably not going to get rid of it before I just go back to doing low carb. At the beginning of the year, I'm gonna start doing my low carb again. So I wanted to get rid of this, but I don't think I will be able to in a week. But what this is really simple. I use beef stock. Of course, ideally you would use beef bone broth. If I had it, I would use it, but I don't have any right now. So I'm gonna use some beef consomme, and then I'm gonna probably have to beef it up. Add more water. So I'm going to use some Better Than Bouillon beef. Love this stuff. And my beef, instead of cooking beef, I'm going to use this canned roast beef. I really thought this stuff would be gross, but I actually really, really do like it. And there's some beef juice in this too. So there. That's going to be the base of the soup. I'm going to have my traditional mirepoix. So I'll cut those up, and then I will saute them up in here, and we will make our soup in this too. This is a nice little thing. This is a Ninja Foodie. I got this at Ross for like 12 bucks. I love it. Absolutely love it. So I'm gonna make that today, and maybe once the soup is done, we'll sit and chat for a little bit about my plans for food and weight loss and all that stuff, because today's a Wednesday and I want to do Wellness Wednesdays. So let's get started. I don't know exactly how much of this I'm going to put in. I'll just have to eyeball it and see. So I love to cook, and I've always wanted my own cooking show. Even when I was a kid, I wanted my own cooking show. I used to watch a lot of the the chefs on PBS. Okay, so that's probably a good amount of celery. So let's work on the carrots. I use the baby carrots because they're cheaper. So one of the things I want to do when I do start in the new year with cooking, I want to do kind of like cooking for one, because obviously that's what I do. I cook for one, and cooking on a budget, because I have an extremely tight budget right now. And I'm going to see how to do low carb and keto on a budget, because I think we're all feeling the pinch, especially if you do keto and low carb, because eggs are very expensive right now. Most of the meats are very expensive, and that's what we typically eat on keto and low carb, is a lot of meats and a lot of dairy things. So I think that's enough carrots. And my pathetic onion, I forgot I needed to buy a new onion. So I'm going to try to make the best of what I got here. Yeah, I used to watch a lot of PBS cooking shows. My favorite was a guy called the Frugal Gourmet. Of course, in real life, he's like, yeah, there were some issues with him later on after he wasn't. I don't think he was on TV anymore. After I had stopped watching it, but I loved his show, and I had these blueberry muffins that were from that show, and I remember sitting and copying down the recipe. Or I may have sent off. I don't think I sent off and got it, but I do remember his recipe for blueberry muffins, and I made them all the time when I was in middle school. So this is like mid 80s, like 85, 86, something like that. And I used to watch him religiously. I also watched the Cajun guy, Justin Wilson. Yeah, I guarantee. So I loved him. He was fun. And I used to watch Martha Stewart and just all of those PBS shows that were on in the 80s. So I am going to sweat these in a little pat of butter. Except for the pasta, this is pretty much a low carb. Would be a low carb soup. I mean the veggies, of course, that have some carbs in them, but that is very bright. That is entirely too bright. Let me turn this down. Okay, so I am going to sweat these in a little bit of butter. Butter makes everything good, but I'm not Pauline. Another questionable person in the cooking field. Anyway, so I'm going to take, this is almost low carb, except for the pasta that I'm going to stick in it. You know, it's not low carb completely. But I'm going to make everything in this pot because this pot should be big enough. So I'm going to start over medium, probably medium-high heat, and soften these guys up a little bit. Alright, so this is giving it, don't want it up too high because I don't really want to saute. I want to sweat, which is a little bit lower temperature. But yeah, this is good, almost an eat with what I eat today. So let's give that a little bit more. That one there looks like it's a little too big. I think it got cut up completely. The onions are translucent. The carrots and the celery. The celery is almost translucent. So I'm gonna go ahead and now put the beef broth in, and first I'm gonna put the beef consommé in. And it's very gelatinous, so you definitely need your cup of water, or can of water. So I don't know if that's going to be enough for my purposes, because the can of beef also has some liquid in it. And usually I come back and taste it, and then that's when I decide if I want to put some more water and Roland thinks I've opened a can of dog food for him. I hear his little tappy toes. So that's what it looks like. It has some beef juice in it. So I go ahead and just put that in and try to get some of the fat and the goo, the gelatinous crap that's in there too. And I usually break up the beef because I don't like the big pieces. I kind of like the Campbell's soup, vegetable beef soup, so I like the smaller pieces. Turn the heat back up on this. and let this cook. I'm gonna let this cook for about 10 minutes to get the beef cooked through. And then I'll come back and I'll taste it to see if it needs anything like some more beef broth, or if I think it's thick enough, or not thick enough, enough liquid in it. So I'm going to do that and let that do its thing. And I'll come back in about 10 minutes and check on it. And then that's when I will decide if I'm going to add other things. So we'll be back. All right, we've been simmering for about 12 minutes. No, almost 20 minutes. Time got away from me. So now I'm going to add my evil pasta, and I'm only going to do like 1/4 of a cup of it. I don't want a whole lot, but I just want something more than just juice and veggies. And again, Roland thinks it's dog food. So I'm going to put 1/4 of a cup of that in there. I've tasted it. I added a little bit of the Better Than Bouillon beef stock to it because it just didn't have the oomph of beef that I really wanted it to. So these take about, it doesn't say, they don't take very long to cook because they're very small. You know, see that they're very, very small little pearls of pasta. They kind of look like, that's the name of them. They look like, almost look like barley, but if you ever had Italian wedding soup, that's usually what's in Italian wedding soup. That's the pasta that's usually in there. So, I'm gonna let that, I turned it down a little bit, I'm gonna turn it back up. And now that the beef is warm, I can kind of chop it a little bit. But once those swell up, I'm gonna give those a few minutes, and then I'm gonna just do another 1/4 cup of peas in here. The carb count on these for 1/3 of a cup serving is, good Lord, 41 grams of carbs, 2 grams of fiber. So if you're doing net carbs, 39. These have 11 grams of carbs for 2/3 of a cup and 4 grams of fiber. So yeah, peas are, I don't know, I like peas. In the Wheat Belly books, I think peas are allowed. They're a starchy vegetable, but so that was one of the things I liked about Weight Watchers. And I'm gonna talk about this later. Was that you do get your vegetables that you don't really get with low carb. And one of the things I like about Wheat Belly is that he lets you have some legumes. So like lentils, I love lentils, and I think peas are in there, but anyway, I don't know. I'm gonna let this cook for about 5 minutes, see how the pasta is doing, and then I'm gonna throw the peas in. So I'll be back again. It's been a few minutes. I don't really know how long because I didn't pay attention. I guess when I go back and edit, I probably can see how long it's been. But as you can see, the pasta's starting. The pasta is starting to turn. One of them fell off my hand. Tastes yummy, yummy. I switched over to a spoon. And now I'm gonna just dump peas in 1/4 of a cup of the frozen peas. I'm gonna dump those in. I don't know if it needs more or not. Looks pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna let this heat the peas through, and then it should be done. Looks yummy. All right, so here's our soup. It turned out not as much broth in it as I wanted, so I think I'm going to go and add another can of water and reheat it. Because I do find that the Better Than Bouillon sometimes can be very salty. So let me give a taste to this. Yeah, it's extremely salty. So it's going to need some beef. Some water put in it. But what I wanted to do is taste some of the meat. I mean, the meat is so tender. It's sort of like a combination of the beef stew, like Dante Moore, and the texture that has. Very soft, very, just melt in your mouth, kind of like chunky soup too. So it's very tasty. But like I said, it needs, it can be salt. It's a little salty, so I'm gonna put some water in it. I'm gonna go reheat it. And then after that, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna watch the local news and the weather, because there's this huge storm coming, as most everybody probably knows by now. And we'll see how Christmas is going to end up in Central Ohio. Thanks for watching Vlogmas Day 21. I hope you enjoyed cooking with me. This is something I want to do as I progress the channel, especially for, this is a Wednesday, so kind of like what I want to do in future videos will be cooking with me, and cooking for most likely low carb cooking, because I'm not going to be doing Weight Watchers. I'm going to make a video about that to kind of kick off what I want to do with my wellness. And other than that, I'm going to redo my soup, and add some water, go reheat it, and sit here and enjoy it for the rest of the day. I'm glad you joined me, and if you liked my video, give me a thumbs up. And if you want, please come back and see me again for Vlogmas Day 22, because I hope to have some stuff tomorrow as well. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. I can't find my pasta. It's hiding from me because it